Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with God. And my name's Whittaker. And today we're going to talk about friends. Okay? Just, lots of times when we go through stuff, we have our friends, but sometimes we take them for granted. Sometimes we think that we're the only people. Sometimes we don't realize the value of our friendship. But God puts people in our lives. And sometimes these people dance in and out of our lives. Sometimes people are in there for a little bit and then they leave and then they come back again. And that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. And these are little hellos and goodbyes that we have, and sometimes we don't understand it. God is a constant, although sometimes, like I've said before, sometimes when we're waiting on God, we don't feel like God is there, but God is always there. And God presents God's self often through people. And I can give testimony to this many, many times. I've been in recovery for a long time, and I can't tell you the amount of ways that God has presented God's self to me through people. People who have magically said something that I'll think about years later, and that's just the thing that I need to help me get through whatever it is that I'm going through now. And they said it 10 years ago, and I haven't thought about that in a long time. And then there's those people that you have in your life, that when the going gets tough, you find out really who's there. You find out who your inner circle is. We all have that. We have some people that are going to sit there and catch you when the going gets really tough, who are going to be there when you're ugly and you're nasty and things are really not in your control. I had that this summer when I had my heart surgery. I thought I was going in to have my blood pressure checked. The next thing I know, I'm being carted out in an ambulance to the hospital. And I texted my friend who I was supposed to visit that afternoon to help her move, saying, I'm going to be delayed a little bit. I'm in the hospital. They're checking me out, and I'll be there later. After a while, I realized that I was in more trouble because she said, I'm going to go and call some other people and kind of let them know what's happening. And then I started texting people. And before I knew it, I had a little cadre of people there who stayed with me through the entire time, because I wound up having to have open heart surgery. And those people stood by me through some times where things were not pretty. Or I was not the nicest person. I knew God was with me. And I did hold on to God's hand. And it was made easier because there were people with me. Because I always knew that there was somebody there. So even at the times where I was the most fearful, I had somebody there, and God was working through that person. There was one time where I remember I was really strung out on some pain meds. They had me on 3 different kinds of pain medications because I was in a lot of pain, and I had to be very still. And my head was messed up about something, and I remember my friend being right in my face, talking to me, trying to get me to calm down, and trying to explain to me why I needed to not move. And I remember that. So God worked it out, and God sent other people too. I had trouble with one person at the hospital. All the others were great. They were all God's hands and God's mouthpieces helping me to get better. And there was one that was a little difficult. It needed to be upped alongside the head. And it just so happens that one of my friends, and God sends those people. And those are the people that we need to be thankful for. Sometimes they even piss you off. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect in the way that we've been taught perfect is. They're perfect in just the way they are. Because they accept me the way I am, and I accept them the way they are. It's unconditional. And that's what we do, and that's how God works it out. That's how God comes to us and talks to us often. So, We're going to be talking about friends along the way too, more friends. And friendships and how what happens in these and how we deal with them. Because sometimes I want to stab my friends in the head, admittedly, because we all have our little things that I'm grumpy or I'm feeling like I want to be an introvert. But it's all good. Those peeps understand me and get me. And if I'm grumpy, I'll say, okay, you're grumpy. I'm going to leave you alone. Or what do you need? What do you need from me? And that's what we can ask. And that's what we can ask God too. You know, I need this from you, God. And God's asking you to, what do you need from me? So when you have your coffee tomorrow, think about that. What do you need from God? What would really make your day today, or tomorrow? So until then, until next week, enjoy your mojo. Have a good one.